farther they wove their way into the wood, as the trees, always knowing, groaned and cracked around them. Her stomach gave a loud growl, and Dinah reached for her bag as she knelt on the forest floor, but not before she settled Wardley's sword close beside her. She untied the brown straps attached to the muslin and slowly laid out its contents, taking a full inventory of what she had. 2 white linen tunics, a belt, 1 black dress, 8 full loaves of bread, 12 large pieces of dried bird meat, a bag of rapidly rotting berries, the remnants of her bloody nightgown, and a sharp dagger. She pulled the dagger out of the bag. It was obviously expensive, the hilt inlaid with dozens of amethysts, interspersed with rich swirls of silver and gold. The black gown beside it was heavy and completely devoid of colour. It was the kind of thing that Dinah would wear, but Vittery would never let drape her shoulders. Vittery. Dinah ground her teeth together, gripping the dagger. No doubt Vittery would soon be crowned queen, taking Dinah's place on the throne next to her father. It was all so clear to Dinah now how Vittery had always been part of the plot, always waiting in the wings to get her hands on Dinah's crown. She had long suspected that Vittery wasn't exactly the poor child found in a sack that she claimed to be. Vittery had been in on the plot to frame Dinah from the start. She'd been in on the plot to kill her brother Charles. The king could never have pulled off such a coup without her willing participation. Dinah angrily closed her fist around the dagger hilt before forcing herself to calm down. She turned the dagger over in the sunlight. Maybe I can exchange it to buy food, Dinah thought, before she realised how silly that sounded. She would be going to no villages, no towns. Her father and Cheshire expected her to be weak, to look for help among Wonderlanders. She wouldn't. She would just disappear into the wood, forever. I will learn to survive, she thought. I will wait for Wardley, and then we will find a boat and sail to the other worlds. The thought made her weary and morose. Heavy despair seemed to hover around her, waiting for the perfect opportunity to overwhelm. If Dinah didn't keep moving, it would come for her swiftly. Her legs were sore when she pushed herself onto her feet and strapped the sword firmly across her back. Morte had fallen asleep beside her, and Dinah thought it best not to wake him. He no doubt needed the rest as much as she did, and waking an angry Hornhoof might lead to being crushed to death. Making note of the path behind her, Dinah began wandering through the trees as she snacked on some berries. The wood seemed to go on forever in every direction. Tiny clusters of flowers brushed her face as she pushed past a tree that spiraled in on itself, its trunk circling into the sky. The tree was weeping a frosty milk that dripped down its branches and formed a white moat around the base of the trunk. Dinah knelt beside the tree and peered into the milky substance. Tiny pink insects with gossamer wings skated over the surface, dipping their long noses into the liquid. The milk was sucked up into their bodies and distributed into their veiny, transparent wings. The white substance then gave their wings a crumbly texture, like toasted bread. At this transformation, the insects tucked their wings back and walked away, looking more like tiny lizards than the butterflies they had resembled at the start. They looked at Dinah with indifference as they strolled away into the forest. "Incredible," murmured Dinah. She stood. The sun flashed on an unnatural shape in the distance as Dinah raised her eyes. It was tall and metallic, and not of the forest. She leaped backward, stumbled on a wide root and fell. She scrambled for her weapon in the damp leaves as she struggled back to her feet. "I am no warrior," she thought as her heart hammered in her ears. The metal continued to flash in the sun. Dinah advanced slowly, making her way through the trees, her sword leading the way. Trembling, Dinah clawed her way up a small embankment parallel to the flashing light to gain a better view. The hill rose up next to a deep groove in the forest, and Dinah perched on the edge, preparing to see a battalion.